Daryl had been eagerly anticipating his surprise visit to Shane for weeks. The two had been inseparable since childhood, and Daryl wanted to lift his friend's spirits with an unexpected visit to his secluded home a few hours away from the city. With the spare key Shane gave him years ago, Daryl let himself into the familiar house, certain that his friend wouldn't mind the intrusion. Upon entering, Daryl was met with an unsettling atmosphere that seemed to permeate the air. Ignoring the feeling of unease while not noticing the hidden cameras in every room he ventured through, he began to explore the house, calling out Shane's name but receiving no reply. Assuming his friend was out running errands or working, Daryl decided to make himself at home and wait for Shane's return. As he wandered through the rooms, Daryl's curiosity led him to Shane's office, where the glow of the desktop computer screen caught his eye. Intrigued, he approached the computer and saw a folder titled, "How I Can Ruin My Best Friend's Life," displayed prominently on the screen. His heart skipped a beat as he clicked on the folder, unsure of what he would find. Inside were several documents, each containing detailed plans on how Shane could supposedly ruin Daryl's life. Most of the documents had "no" written beside them, indicating that Shane had dismissed those ideas. However, one document stood out from the rest, titled, "Make his family and loved ones disappear, one by one." Feeling a knot form in his stomach, Daryl hesitated before opening the document. As he read through Shane's sinister plan to systematically make everyone Daryl cared about vanish without a trace, a chill ran down his spine. The level of detail was chilling, and Daryl couldn't shake the feeling of dread that washed over him. Each word seemed to weigh heavy on Daryl's mind as he absorbed the horrifying contents of the document. He couldn't comprehend how his best friend, whom he trusted implicitly, could conceive such a diabolical scheme. Panic began to set in as Daryl realized that Shane must have some hidden motive, some deep-seated resentment that had driven him to concoct this nightmare. As he reached the final line of the document, Daryl's blood ran cold. "Finally, I'll return home to take care of Daryl once and for all." The words hung in the air like a death sentence, and Daryl's heart pounded in his chest as he heard the front door open and close. Frozen in fear, Daryl knew that Shane had returned, and he was now trapped in a house with someone he thought he knew, but who had become a stranger with dark intentions. Every creak of the floorboards sent a shiver down his spine as he braced himself for what was to come. With each passing moment, the tension in the air grew thicker, suffocating Daryl as he struggled to comprehend the nightmare unfolding around him. He had to think fast, to find a way out of this terrifying situation before it was too late. But as he frantically searched for an escape route, Daryl couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched, that every move he made was being carefully monitored by Shane, who lurked in the shadows, waiting to strike. The minutes stretched into hours, each one feeling like an eternity as Daryl waited in agonizing suspense, his mind racing with fear and uncertainty. He knew that he couldn't stay in the house a moment longer, that he had to find a way to escape Shane's clutches and alert the authorities before it was too late. Summoning every ounce of courage he had left, Daryl made a run for the door, his heart pounding in his chest as he prayed for salvation. With trembling hands, he fumbled for the doorknob, desperate to break free from the nightmare that had engulfed him. And then, just as he was about to reach safety, Daryl felt a cold hand clamp down on his shoulder, sending a shockwave of terror through his body. He turned to face his assailant, his eyes widening in horror as he came face to face with Shane, his best friend turned tormentor. In that moment, Daryl knew that he was no match for Shane's twisted intentions, that he was doomed to become another victim in his friend's sinister game. As darkness closed in around him, Daryl realized that the true horror of this situation was just beginning, that there was no escape from the nightmare that awaited him. As Shane's grip tightened on Daryl's shoulder, a sinister grin spread across his face, sending shivers down Daryl's spine. With a menacing glint in his eyes, Shane dragged Daryl back into the house, his footsteps echoing ominously through the empty halls. Daryl struggled against Shane's iron grip, his heart pounding with fear as he desperately tried to break free. But Shane's hold was unrelenting, and with each passing moment, Daryl's terror grew more suffocating. As they reached the darkened depths of the house, Shane threw Daryl to the ground with a cruel laugh, relishing in his friend's helplessness. With a sadistic gleam in his eyes, Shane produced a length of rope from his pocket, his intentions clear as he advanced towards Daryl with chilling determination. Panic surged through Daryl's veins as he realized the full extent of Shane's depravity, his mind racing with thoughts of escape as he fought against the binds that held him captive. But Shane was relentless, his every move calculated to inflict maximum pain and suffering upon his helpless victim. For hours, Shane tortured Daryl, his laughter echoing through the house as he reveled in the agony of his former friend. With each blow, each scream of pain, Daryl felt himself slipping further into the abyss of despair, his hope of survival fading with each passing moment. But even in the face of unimaginable horror, Daryl refused to give up, his spirit unbroken as he clung to the faint glimmer of hope that flickered within him. With every ounce of strength he had left, Daryl fought against his tormentor, determined to defy Shane until his last breath. But Shane's cruelty knew no bounds, and as the hours stretched into days, Daryl's resistance began to wane, his body broken and battered by the relentless onslaught of abuse. With a chilling smile, Shane delivered the final blow, his laughter echoing through the darkness as he brought an end to Daryl's tortured existence. As Daryl's lifeless body lay crumpled on the ground, Shane's laughter filled the air, a haunting echo of the horrors that had unfolded within the walls of the house. And as darkness descended upon the world, Shane disappeared into the night, leaving behind nothing but the chilling echoes of his sinister laughter, a twisted reminder of the true evil that lurked within the hearts of men.